'em up, let's start the show. We're digging in with Trip. 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 We're digging in with Trip today, yeah.
Well, the time has come. What a host of tremendous Carolina Hurricanes candidates to be deserving of the shovel. And an adversity-filled month of December, but my gosh, were the boys outstanding. 7-2 with all of the different COVID cases, all the different obstacles, was extraordinary. So a variety of shovels could have gone out. Ultimately, I said to myself, now I have a bias towards a fellow TT, but Teuvo Teravainen, first game of the month, he scored his 100th NHL goal and then he went on a tear. And he did play in every game. He made as fine of a defensive play en route to a victory over the Calgary Flames as I've seen in my 23 years. His buddy Sebastian Aho eventually won that game against the Flames in overtime. Teuvo Teravainen, no doubt about it. He is my Canes Dig-In Player of the Month. Thanks to the great people at Casual Elegance Designs. They've just added to their already stellar brand of designing interior spaces specifically for you. They've had a gorgeous relaunch, casualelegance.designsnc.com. They are terrific. Check them out. Let them go to work for you. Before we dig in with Teuvo, I want to encourage you to check out our ever-expanding merchandise line at digintrip.com. Teuvo, as a matter of fact, why wouldn't he? He loves the retro trucker. That's the hat that he loves to put on that cerebral dome that is one of the great thinkers in the National Hockey League in the way that he sees the game. Please rate and review our show on all audio platforms as well as YouTube. Without further ado, gosh, it's my honor. He earned it to present the Canes Dig-In Shovel of the month of December. What a way to finish the calendar year to Teuvo Teravainen. Teuvo, my fellow TT, you earned it. My gosh, did you ever have the hard hat on the entire month of December? As the song goes, you earned the shovel. There are a lot of tremendous candidates on your team. As the song goes, how does it feel, TT?
Oh, thanks, Trip. It feels awesome. I've seen all these great players getting all these shuffles and everything, so it's awesome to be part of it.
Well, man, you started the month. You didn't win the game, but you scored your 100th NHL goal against Ottawa, and then you went on just an absolute tear. TT went on a tear. You know, all the Caniacs and all the Finns, all the hockey fans, they all want to know, how does Teuvo Teravainen define digging in?
Well, I don't know. That's a long story, I guess. I just try to be myself, and yeah, it was a good month. I feel like the 100 goal was kind of like, took me like 20 games to score that one, but I finally got it. I think it was, who did we play, Ottawa or something?
Yeah.
That game, I had a lot of good chances, and maybe like my 10th shot of the goal went in, so it was kind of good feeling. And then after that, like you said, I was kind of, everything went in, and it was a good feeling. Once in a while, you just shoot the pucks and you feel like it might have a good chance to go in, so you might even want to shoot more than.
You know, I remember a few years ago, we were at the Bell Center in Montreal. I was getting ready to do a bench interview with you during warm-ups, and I mean, I've loved you from the get-go. I loved you when you were on Chicago, watching you play for the Finns, the World Junior Champion, yada, yada, yada. But I never would ask you, Teuvo, do you feel like you got to shoot the puck more? Because I love watching you shoot. I love watching you pass. If you could pick to make a magical pass leading to a highlight reel goal or finish it with a turbo howitzer, which one would you pick?
Of course, I'll pick the nice pass backdoor, and someone else can have a nice goal. So, I mean, I feel like always being a little more, I try to find the pass first, and if I don't have a good passing options, then I might shoot it. So, I mean, I know for sure it's kind of frustrating to watch me play sometimes, because I always look to pass first, but that's just how my game is, I guess.
No, it's never been frustrating for me.
Not
I
for you,
have to
but I
remind.
know some people.
I
Maybe our
have to.
coach.
I got to remind myself sometimes they trip. I know in life some people are naturally your favorites, and TT is one of mine. You got to treat everybody like they're your favorite. Oh no, I've never been frustrated. You know, but I know Rod because I know him very, very well. I mean, there he is over my shoulder. He would battle to the ends of the earth for you because of what a competitor you are. I mean, I know that's why he loves you. I've asked you about it before. Your dad, I believe, a dentist I met. You have a brother and sister that play. Is there anything that you can point to growing up that has lended to when the game starts, you are such a fierce competitor?
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably has to be from my mom and dad. We always like to compete, and I feel like for especially my mom, I think we play some like card games or whatever board games home, and it's just we have to win. So it has to be coming from my dad and mom, I guess. So it's just I think it's more like I just don't want to lose, kind of. So that makes me want to win more.
For me, I'm twice your age. Monopoly, Candyland. I like those. Well, what were board game? I like Monopoly. Yeah, Monopoly. I love. What was your favorite board game in the Teravainen household?
I don't know. It's just some card games, and I like Monopoly. Yeah, that's pretty good. And there's a lot of good ones. So there's some Finnish ones too. You wouldn't even know. So.
Well, you just pronounced Monopoly far better than I ever could. And I said on TV a couple of games ago, boy, Teuvo would have the greatest poker face of all time because you never know what he's thinking. I mean, do you play poker at all?
No, not really. That's one of the only games I never really got into it. But it's a fun game though, but I just never really played it.
You have to be complete to be. I'm not a poker player, but I think you make me think about when I got called up to the NHL, Sammy Kapanen was on the team. Then you march forward. I'm going to miss a couple of guys, but just finish forwards that have played for the Kings. Jussi Jokinen, Tuomo Ruutu. And then we march on to you, Sebastian, etc. I can't think of off the top of my head, Teuvo, a Finnish forward that has ever cheated the game defensively. I can't think of one. What do you think it is in the way that you're brought up? Let's just talk forwards to take care of both ends of the rink.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like the same way. The Finns are usually good both ways, and they don't really cheat the game too much. But of course, there's always could be some players who thinks the other way. But the Finns usually, yeah, they are really responsible at defensive game, and it's just I guess how we play in Finland in juniors and the national team, the way that the junior national team plays, it's always like both ways. You got to be good at defense, and that's always how the Finns wins in the World Championships and the juniors. To play good team games, so that's how we grow up always, I think.
I brought this out, partner. I've got 2 of these T-shirts because I got them when the Canes were over in Finland. Yeah, Jokerit, you played for them. First of all, do you think Jokerit has to be as cool of an emblem as there is in the world of hockey?
Oh yeah, it's a great team. I was played there all my young career, so I have a lot of good memories from there. And I mean, they're in the KHL now, so I never played KHL, but it's a little different story for them now. But that's a great place to play.
I loaded up in the gift shop, and with no disrespect to former Diggin guests, old Barkey, Alexander Barkov, and Tempera, or our dear friend, Mr. Carpet, Sebastian Aho. I'm going to show you the other one right here. This is my favorite one because it's more covert. Look at that. Hang on. Do I have it? There it is. Look at the yoke. Yeah.
That's a nice logo.
So you go on from there and you play in the World Junior Tournament a couple of times. And our old buddy, Elias Lindholm, I remember when he got sent to play in Malmö and you beat him in the finals. You had 3 assists, 3-2 overtime win. I said to myself right then, the bigger the game, the bigger Teuvo Teravainen plays. In big games, do you ever get nervous? Do you feel, if you gave advice to any young boy or girl when there is pressure, the bigger the game, to raise with your level of play, what would you say?
Just prepare, focus, and every shift matters, kind of. So, and of course, I'll get nervous sometimes for big games, but it's just, I feel like it just tells that you really want to play that game. You want to be good at that game. So, yeah, it's for sure. I played some big games in my young career, but I always feel like at those big moments, I somehow try to and be my best. So it's always been good, I think, in those moments. I really enjoy those moments, I think.
I'm thinking about, my favorite moment for you as a Hurricane, and I don't even know if you're going to remember, but Game 7 in Washington. First period, Washington's got in front of the game. Pesh, Tom Wilson comes in after the whistle, gives Pesh a little bit of a shot. Who comes in and says to Tom Wilson, hey, listen, I'm here all night, TT. What do you remember about? I mean, that's where I said something special is going to ultimately happen here tonight. Do you remember that?
Not really much, but now when you said it, I remember. Yeah, I don't know really what happened there, but of course, someone gotta step up and do something. I mean, I didn't really do anything, kind of, I think, but he's a big guy and tough guy to play against. So, I mean, I don't know if I don't think what happened. I don't think I fought him. I don't know what happened.
No, you didn't fight him. I just thought you sent a message. I'm TT, and the Canes are going to be here all night. You were part of the company before Brock. That's my favorite memory, and I have countless memories as you as a Hurricane. If you had to pick one, okay, I'm putting you on the spot.
Yes, you are.
All right, either give me your top one or your top one or two favorite memories as a Hurricane.
Oh, that is a tough one. I mean, that Game 7 against Washington was pretty special. The whole series was special. Just the way we lost the first two games, and then we came home, and just the fans in the building, it was crazy. It just gave us so much energy to play that series, and to come out of that series winning the Game 7 in overtime, it has to be one of the best moments for sure.
Yeah, I'll never forget it. And I think you're going to add to it. I look here and, I don't know how many times, here's the cup. And I was just looking at it because so many guys on the Chicago Blackhawks have said when you won the Stanley Cup, you wouldn't have advanced to the Stanley Cup final, gotten through Anaheim. If you, Antoine Vermette, former guest Patrick Sharp, you're playing on a line, if you guys hadn't dug in. Then I looked and saw what you did against Tampa in Game 1. There's so many good teams in the league, Teuvo, and we're just in January. But what makes this team special in your mind that down the road, many months from now, you've got a real chance?
Yeah, I mean, this team is special, like you said, because just to be part of it, just the feeling in the locker room, in the games, the way we handle tough times, good times, and I mean, Roddy, how he handles us and makes us preparing all the games. And I mean, we really are a good team. I can feel that. And I mean, a lot of people can see it now too. I mean, we knew that already in last few years, but I feel like no one really believed us. But I mean, it's all about getting in the playoffs, and the playoffs are way different worlds. So now we've got some experience from last few years, and we just have to be better in the playoffs, and it's all those small things what matters, and you just got to be ready every shift, and there's some good teams, so you just have to be better.
Thinking about, part of your gaining the shovel, third period, Calgary, tie game. All right. You showed tremendous desperation to save a goal with your stick. But if you just swipe it, it goes off TT's stick and in the net. I asked you about it the next day in Edmonton. You said, I just had to save a goal. But you actually came over top of the puck and cupped it. Teuvo, it's as good of a defensive play as I've seen in 23 years. Now that you have some time, you're reflecting, you've got the hoodie on. Is there anything you can remember as you were saying, what you thought about? Because that was just a marvelous and then marvelous again play.
I mean, yeah, I don't know if I could do it again at the same way I did, because I was just it came really fast. I saw the puck was gliding to the net, and I was just, oh no, oh no. I just tried to kind of scoop the puck out of the net, and it just worked out perfectly. So, I mean, it's one of those moments that doesn't count as a goal, but it sure feels like a goal, kind of.
Tell you, I'm going to take you, when we have time, to Baskin Robbins, the way you scoop that thing. We're going for ice cream because that was an absolute riot. I loved it. A couple of individual moments. I'm going to send you on your way. This is a good. I was actually at Roddy Brindamore's house right before the season, and he had just cooked something on the barbecue. It's always so healthy. And he's sitting there, he's like, Trip, you know how much the boys love Teuvo? And he started telling me this story about the assault bike. Okay, it's called an assault bike for a reason. Okay, it's the hardest test ever. It sucks. I mean, you're going to go balls to the wall. You go, I think, a minute on, a minute off, and you either pass or you fail. And all the boys, you passed it, no surprise. You dug in. But I heard all the boys were shouting, turbo, turbo, come on, Teuvo, all around the bike. That's how much they, what do you remember about this? Because this is what being on a team is all about.
Yeah, I mean, training camp's probably not my favorite time of the year. So, but I know there's always that bike test what I have to pass somehow. So of course I prepare for that and try to come as good a shape as I can in the camp. So then the bike's gonna wait me there, and I know I have to beat that bike. And it's just a battle, I knew, and there was a lot of players, like you said, yelling my name and cheering me up, and it's just a battle. And I made it again. I always passed that test somehow, but it's not my favorite moments for sure.
I just think it's an example of how much the boys absolutely would run through 10,000 walls for you. They also say, Teuvo has his cronies in Finland along with his teammates here in Carolina. And if you're a dear friend of Teuvo's, I mean, watch out, because he will stick by, his compadres to the ends of the earth. When you think about being a good teammate and or a good friend, because that's a heck of a compliment, what do you think about?
I mean, yeah, that's awesome. I always, the best in the team, you have to care about the teammates and people who's sitting next to you. And when all the team do that, they care about each other, then that's when the team starts to play better. So I feel like that's really important in the team, to not only be teammates, but you got to be friends with your teammates and care about them.
I almost one year went to go see Teuvo, as I called him, Rudy Baby, and Jussi for Christmas Eve, because I know Santa gets going early in Finland. That's where he starts his journey. Yeah. But I had to go to Florida or something like that. So Antti Raanta, what a wonderful guy. He has everybody over to the house. Okay, the Finns, you, Sebastian, Jesperi, and the honorable Finn, Mr. Santa Claus, Seth Jarvis. First of all, how do you say Santa Claus in Finn-ish?
Joulupukki.
Oh, joulupukki. Now, what kind of joulupukki was Jarvis?
It was a good one. Very short one though. But yeah, it went good. Rance's kids were excited, so that's what mattered. And I remember Santa came in and sat down there, and just someone just gave him a shot right away. So that got the Santa going a little bit. So it was good.
I went to go see an ex-girlfriend in France one year. Okay. And they asked me the things you'll do. My girlfriend at the time, and her nephew and niece were I was meeting her mom for the first time. And they said, and a bunch of kids, they said, will you be Père Noël? Okay. And I'm nervous. I mean, I'm meeting my girlfriend's mom for the first time. I don't speak French, or at least a little bit. I'm going through the suburbs of Paris, and everybody's looking at me, Père Noël, Père Noël. And it was hilarious. Joyeux Noël, and I walk in, I remember I was perspiring like you wouldn't believe. So, and I'm like Otto Pokey or whatever you say, I'm a short Père Noël too. That's funny, but all in all, he did a pretty good job.
Oh yeah, it was a good time, awesome time, and just be with friends is always the best.
What are the most popular menu? What do you eat there at Christmas Eve when you're celebrating? Even though in Raleigh, but with the Finnish culture.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I haven't really been in Finland for Christmas in like 10 years, so it's a long time. But sometimes we have family in town and they make some Finnish food, so it's awesome. It's just like ham is kind of traditional and some like uh, I don't know in English those names though, so it's nothing too crazy, but it's just I guess a little different than here.
What's the best Christmas gift you ever got underneath the tree when you believed in Santa Claus or Olupuki or whatever you call
It kind of has to be some kind of hockey stick or new skates or something as a young kid, and then you can go play outside with that right away. That's a good feeling.
I thought you played a terrific game against Montreal. And that's, I'm sitting there during the third period. I'm like, okay, I know TT was at Antti's house. He had 2 points. Aho was there. He had 2 points. Kokaniemi had a point. And then I figured out in my bench interview after from Antti that Seth Jarvis was there and he had a nice power play goal. And I'm like, I've got to, you've seen Wedding Crashers. I know you're a big Vinny Vaughn fan, huge Caniac. I'm going to crash that party next year. My question for you is at the end of that game, Antti Raanta had a super shutout. So 6 points from the people in attendance, and the guy that hosted the party, Father Finn, had a shutout. And if I remember correctly, you gave him the puck. Teuvo, he lost his dad right before the season. He is just a terrific, terrific guy. Can you speak to that moment? Because I thought that was one of those moments where the game just becomes infinitely more special.
Yeah, I mean, Rance is it's just a so good guy. Everybody always loves him in the locker room, and I played with him in Chicago, so I knew him. He was a really good friend of mine. So when I first heard that we might have a chance to get him for us, I was so excited. I called him right away and tried to do everything I can to get that guy in our locker room. And yeah, he had some tough times before he came here, but now he's been really good for us, and it looks like he enjoys everything again. And just it's awesome to see that game he played. The shutout was awesome, and just it just means a lot for him. I'm sure for sure, and I can see that he's really enjoying his time here, and I can see our players likes him a lot. I mean, everybody loves him, so it's easy to like him. So yeah, it's just Rance. That's what a guy.
Teuvo, you make me again get nostalgic. So now I'm thinking about, you mentioned that you and Antti were in Chicago together. June 15th, that was the time of year midway through that you got traded to Carolina. I'm assuming you were in Finland. What? I've never asked you this. Where were you, and how were you told the news that you became a Carolina Hurricane?
Yes, I was in Finland in my parents' house, and I just got called from, I think it was Stan Bowman from Chicago, and he just told me the news, and that's it. And it was a weird day. I knew at some point Chicago had to do something with the cap space. They didn't have any cap space, so I knew someone was gonna get traded. But of course, for me, it came for a surprise, and I didn't even know what to expect here. I was kind of worried and everything, but now it just looks like it's been so good for me, for myself. I really been enjoying the time in here, and I really have. I think my game is been getting better every year. So I don't know if what would have happened if I stayed in Chicago. So I'm pretty happy I'm here right now.
I'm not happy. I don't know if you know the word giddy. And 3 years ago, you were with your mom and dad. I was in my hotel room, killing time in Calgary, and I saw this news. TT committed to 5 more years. That was before your contract expired. What a day. I mean, what was it? that made you. The Hurricanes showed belief in you. Why wouldn't they? But a terrific move from the Hurricanes. But I thought it was just an outstanding move from you. And thank you for making that day in Calgary a good one. What do you remember about your decision to commit to Carolina at the time?
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty easy decision for me. This place really feels like home for me right now, so it was pretty easy. Always to make that kind of deal makes life easy, kind of. And I feel like I was stressing a lot about that deal before, and I feel like that I could see that in my game too. Before that, I was kind of stressing about it, but after that, I feel like I started playing way better. I didn't have to worry about that deal or anything. Just play hockey. That's what works for me. Just go out there, enjoy, don't think too much, just play the hockey. So after that, it's been good.
Well, what a day. You and Donnie Waddell putting pen to paper. I will always remember it. Needed that kind of lift in snowy Calgary at the time. And then you put on the old turbo jets. I'm letting you go by saying there are a lot of cheesy nicknames in hockey. Turbo ain't one of them. I'm sticking with TT, but Turbo's a good one. I think about Finnair, what an airline. You've got the turbo jets going. You had the turbo jets going in December. You earned the shovel. I'm going with TT, not Turbo, moving forward. But congratulations, and keep this thing rolling. You make my job enjoyable every day. Congratulations.
Thank you, TT. It was good to talk to you, and thanks again.
We're digging in with Trip today, yeah. Today, yeah. Today, yeah. Today.